Teaching Standard 2C has been met as part of a theory lesson with BTEC Sport. The first part of my evidence just shows the to-do list that students were working on individually. This was based on the progress that they had made on their previous lesson. As you can see, one student didn't get very far, they had just completed their initial assessment, whereas another student had already completed identifying their strengths and their areas for development. Each student got one of these personalised for them, so they knew exactly where they had to start in the lesson and the steps they had to make to progress throughout the lesson. This second part then is just an example of one student, so they got as far as analysing their results, and then their first step for our lesson was to identify their strengths and areas for development. But first of all, they had to respond to my feedback that I had done. So the red shows the feedback that I had given them, and then the green shows how the students have responded. So they have identified their strengths and areas for development. They have started then to they have decided the qualities that they're going to focus on, and then they have begun to decide what arousal controls they will use. So the next sheet just shows then these arousal controls they think would suit based on their initial assessment. So positive thinking, weighing up the pros and cons, and then they were moving on to weighing up the pros and cons for their negative thought control. This sheet then shows this next part of my evidence shows the to-do list at the end of the lesson. So the green ticks show the progress that the students has made, and then these circled parts show the targets that they have set themselves for the next lesson. So students are clearly able to clearly see the progress they have made, and also their emerging needs for the next lesson, so exactly what they have to do. They could already start to prepare themselves for this, so start to research how they're going to make their targets smart for the programme, so the students were clear on what they had to do. This feedback just shows how the written feedback that I had given, asking the students to react as part of following school policy on this, and how that has impacted positively on the quality of the lesson and the progress that students have made. The students were encouraged to reflect on their previous work. So then this was allowed me to give individual intervention to each student, which was personalised to them and their progress, to ensure that students were making as much progress as they possibly could have, and I was clearing up any misunderstandings that they had throughout the lesson to help them progress.